Maybe.
No, they can't get far.
Escaping the realm of darkness, the paranormal guys are on a quest to find the answers to the hard questions of where the normal meets the paranormal, and the weird, and where the natural meets the unnatural. So grab your holy water, call your mama, and get ready for the Paranormal Guys podcast.
Hello, everyone. This is Neil with the Paranormal Guys podcast, and my co-host, my pal, my chum, Mr. Scotty Rorick. What's going on, Scotty?
Look at I'm already buffering already as we go. So
Yes. Yeah, you doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing great. We're
All
doing
right.
well. So
Today's
yeah, my mama says don't believe in no ghosts.
Don't believe in the ghosts?
Yeah.
I believe in the ghosts, man.
She didn't for the longest time, but just lately she's starting to see stuff in her house. So
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
how old's your mother?
I think
My
my
man.
mom's 84.
84?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's still pretty young. If you ask me, I think it is anyways.
I hope so. I hope I get that old, for Christ's sake.
I hope to grow old. I really do. I really truly do enjoy life. I like going out and doing things. So I really hope that I'll be able to live a long life. But your mom's seeing ghosts right now?
Yeah, she's finally starting to see stuff in her house, and it's kind of cool because they've been there all along, and now she's starting to see them. She goes, "So who's this guy walking across my living room?" I said, "Oh, that could be your brother. It could be." I said, "What does he look like?" And she goes, "Oh, that's my brother." I said, "Yep," or "That's my dad," or "That's my mom." And so it's kind of nice that she's seeing all their family. So they hang around me the whole time. So I mean, I talk to them all.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting how like children, when they're really small, like between the ages of 1 to 3, they see things, and then people, as we get older, we'll say in our 80s,
Yep.
people start seeing. Like I remember my grandma always telling me, "Oh, I talk to your grandfather all the time," and he passed at the time when she explained that to me. She goes, "I talk to him all the time." And one time I was staying at the place by myself in Indiana, and because she was in the hospital, and I was sitting there, I was watching a Chicago Bears game because I remember this. It was wintertime, and all of a sudden I hear whistling, and I'm like, "This! Oh my god! My grandpa used to do that. You could hear the footsteps coming up the stairs," and I was like, "Wow!" Scared the crap out of me, man. I didn't go. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't go to bed all night long, man.
I think that's cool. I love that when it happens. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really weird, especially when I came out to my family about the mediumship. There's certain people in the family I thought would just totally be terrible with it, and they're the ones that love it the most.
Yeah. There's the ones who, they love it and they love you when you tell them the stories. And then there's the ones that go, "Yeah, he's gone. There's something."
He's gone by.
I do it when I go to certain family events. They go, "Oh, Neil, you still chasing those ghosts, are you?" And I just blow them out.
It's really funny. I always saw my Aunt Millie. She'd be the one that totally super Christian, super Catholic, And I always thought, hey, she would never believe in all this, but she calls me all the time. And she says to me, she goes, she asked me like what Uncle Mike is, saying to me. And I'm like going, well, let me tell you. So I end up giving her readings and everything. That's great.
Oh, that's good. Some people, they want that. They need that. They need the comfort of it. They truly do.
Right.
Whatever gets them through the day.
Most people do. Most people who can't sense spirit or can't talk to them or don't ghost hunt or don't think. I mean, they're really out there looking for the answers, and I'm glad I could give it to them. I'm glad I can help and give them the answers that they're actually really looking for.
Yeah, it is a nice feeling. And, when I was talking to Diet Renee about a month ago about this subject,
Yep.
because I'm still trying to come to understanding what I do and how to kind of balance it in my life type of thing. I was
Neil,
explaining to her.
let me tell you this in front of everybody. Everybody, listen. You talk to dead people.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Just saying, that's what you do. You talk to dead people.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's just, it is what it is.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to
Sorry
overthink
to
it.
come out on their show. I come way out. I threw you under the bus right in front of everybody. But that's what you do.
That's what I do. That's how I roll. That's how I get down. All right, I'm game with that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today's date is July 9th, 2024. This episode here will be coming out about the third week of August, the third Wednesday in August. Today we're going to have Scotty's friend, Mr. Keith Age. Tell us a little about Keith before we get to interview him.
Keith Age is probably one of the gentlemen that I know for the longest time. Either that, and then my other friend that I've known for a long time. He's going to be on next week's show. Hey, so let's go figure. But Keith and I have been buddies for many, many, many moons. We did Children of the Grave 2 together. I've done all his paranormal events. We've done the Roth House, which Neil is going to be doing with Diet and Larry. So we've already been there. We did that event, and so we'll hopefully talk about that tonight.
Yeah, we will. So let me pull up something right here. This is really, really cool. I'm going to go to my virtual background. I guess got me a new virtual background. I put in this thing right here. Ooh, the seance.
Wow. Nice.
What do you think? What do you think?
Seances are cool. I mean,
yeah.
I did one in in Winnipeg, at this old hotel, and it was actually where Arthur Conan Doyle did it 100 years before I was there.
Mm-hmm.
So on the same night, 100 years later, we did another seance at that night, and I brought some people through, and it was really cool because a lot of like Scott Tepperman was there and a few other people actually saw me, and we actually had the table move and go across the floor, and it was a very heavy table, and they spent a while trying to debunk it, trying to figure out, hey, well, how did Scotty make the table move? I didn't make it move. Spirit made it.
And people want to. People want to. They want to know that their leg's not being pulled, and it's totally understandable. And you come across certain individuals, because I've been to other seances,
right?
Where and believe me, I really, really researched this well. I and it's also a feeling. And I told Diet that I said I had a feeling that I needed you to call me. And I don't know what it is. Sometimes these weird things just happen, and I hate sounding weird. I really do, but it's I also am an honest person. Right. And I kept getting this feeling of, I hope that this lady here, Diet, gives me a call or reaches out to me. And sure enough, she did. That's cool. I was like, oh man, that's awesome. So we talked, and actually we're going out tomorrow because we got to go to the Roth House. We got to start doing some filming. We're starting our beginning of our filming. So it's going to be a lot of fun. The cool thing about what we're doing, Scotty, is we're going to let everybody part of the show. Good. Everybody's going to be all our customers, the audience. We're all going to be part of this taping together. And the whole idea behind this is energy. How can we get this energy out there? And what can we do with it if we do it just right on a place that definitely I know has ley lines there and is known for seances, spiritualism, and the possession. Your buddy's film, he was a producer on the film The Possessed. Right. By the way, what I was watching yesterday for like the fourth or fifth time. And this area, we should get great results. We should. I'm hoping for it. I'm praying for it.
I at one time had a pilot of a TV show that we were doing. We were calling it Celebrity Seance. Mm-hmm. And it was a cool show. I mean, we bring celebrities in and sit them at the table, and we would do seances with them. And we filmed the one night, the first night we filmed for it. I was there, and I ended up taking the producers aside, and I said, so about this other medium that I was with, I said, so are we faking this whole show, or what is the real thing to do here? Because I said, if he tips that table one more with his leg, I'm out. I said,
I don't understand people.
So he went to this whole thing about him, trying to, and it was all fake. I was just like, what the hell are we doing here tonight? I said, if this is the show, let me know, and I'll be an actor in the show. I mean, I won't be a medium, I'll be an actor. Or are we really trying to do seances? And so that show never took off.
Yeah. it's a shame when people are trying to mislead people. It's bad. I try to every single time just be open and honest with people. I tell them what I'm doing, how I'm doing, and at the end of the day, I hope that you like the product that we put out there.
No, because honestly, sometimes at a seance, nothing happens.
Sure, but you want to know what? Here's the thing: is it may not happen physically or anything like that, but that's why we're going to have recorders out there and everything. It's what happens behind the scenes that we're not realizing, because not a lot of us can hear certain voices or get certain feelings.
Right.
So we have to rely on certain things like our recorders, our EMFs, to be able to get the evidence. They're around you, but it's a different kind of evidence other than the physical time in the 3D world that we live in.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Well, hopefully you get stuff. I mean, because that would be great. I would love to. I can't wait to see the stuff when you guys get back. And
we also, you and I, we got Pararock.
We do.
We got Pararock coming up. You and I are both going to be speakers there.
By the time you see this, too late.
What's that?
By the time they see this, too late.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm going to try to get it out there, though. I put an advertisement on it first thing this morning, though. I put out one this morning on my regular sites. So we're going to be out there. I'm actually really excited. You and I are both going to be speakers at the same time.
We are.
I remember when I first met you earlier this year and I saw you speak, and I'm like, wow, man, it's like boom, boom, boom. We're like on the same wavelength here, man. And it was really cool. So that's really, really cool. That both, and we got Dave Schrader, who's going to be the master of ceremonies, which is cool. I like Dave. I like that dude. He's a cool dude. I like him. So I also got,
it's like, never mind.
I got a video.
I when I wasn't doing my best and I was having my strokes, Dave would send a lot of notes to me and stuff and help me out, and he put out the word, for healing during that time. So I really, Dave's a very good friend, and I'm glad we're going to see him there. So
yeah, he actually, I see him do that on his site a lot. He's very big about that, where he puts out things for people's prayers. People send him things, what's going on in their lives, and he seems very sincere. And yeah, he seems very sincere about making sure a positive message is put out there. So I like him, and I like listening to him, because I think I said to him, I said, dude, you missed your calling. I go, you should be a comedian. I go, you're a very funny dude. But he knows all the little things, from the paranormal to being funny and this and that. He's just an all around kind of guy. But Scotty, I got this video just sent to me today. Anonymous video of Steve in Nimblewood, Georgia. Supposedly, I had to send this out to his family.
I got to see this. Is this him?
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen! If you don't know, Steve Lion Weber is missing. He was the other co-host of the Paranormal Guys podcast. Here's the video. Nothing more I can say.
Neil, this is Steve. I'm sorry, man. I should never have come out here alone. I should have waited for you to go with me. And now they got me inside some kind of tent. I don't know where I am, and I'm not sure you'll get this message. But there's this sound, this humming and screeching. Did you hear that? Neil, if you get this video, please help.
Wow. He sounds like he's at Sizzler. I'm just saying.
It sounds like he's at the Sizzler.
I think so. I think that's where he is. That's somebody going for the buffet. I heard him.
Man, it's serious. This is serious.
Come
on now, man. Come on now, man.
Come on, man. You can't go to Sizzler and not have a good time. Whatever.
Come on, man. All right. Well, keep an eye out for Steve. If anybody hears anything or anything like that,
let us know. Let us know. That's
serious stuff, man. Serious. All right. So let's get into the news, Scotty.
right.
I'm gonna let you start off first today. Hold up,
Paranormal Guys. Weird news.
All right. What do you have for us today, Scotty?
It's kind of cool. So, according to research, those who experience sleeplessness or sleep paralysis are more prone to have paranormal beliefs. All right. Any thought of paranormal activities or anything supernatural sends a chill down the spine of anyone who is scared of these abnormal things. The fact that so many individuals continue to believe in the paranormal activity is due to this fear. However, a recent study has found a link between the quality of sleep and the occurrence of seeing ghosts or paranormal or supernatural things, such as experiencing the presence of the ghost. The associations between paranormal beliefs and sleep variables. In order to arrive a firm conclusion, the research of the study, which was carried out as a survey, tried to undertake thorough research by evaluating paranormal beliefs in relation to a wide range of sleep variables in a large sample. According to Science Alert, researchers conducted a study using an online survey and recruitment, which promoted a social media and the BBC Science Focus magazine. In the end, 8,853 participants, who were all at least 18 years of age, responded to questions about the various paranormal topics. Links between paranormal beliefs and other sleep variables were also revealed, and for all associations, it found that a higher level of paranormal belief was associated with poor subjective sleep quality, even when controlling for your age and gender effects, these studies authors mentioned. In particular, participants reported strong beliefs in the soul living on after death, the existence of ghosts, the ability of people to communicate with the dead, like mediums, and I added that, and presence of aliens on Earth tend to report lower sleep efficiencies, longer sleep latency, shorter sleep durations, and increased insomnia. Experts behind the study mentioned that the reports of paranormal activity or anomalous beliefs could be mistaken as prime fascia or FACIE evidence for more severe disorders. They also believe that it may encourage clinicians to assess for relevant sleep disturbances and paranosis, in addition to other forms of psychopathology. Isn't that kind of cool?
Yeah. Yeah. Like sleep paralysis, for a lot of people who don't know, it's actually a very normal thing that happens in your body. The sleep paralysis is a natural thing that's inside people's bodies. Otherwise, it's known in the paranormal community as known as HAG syndrome. So the way that you differentiate it is if, like, I've talked to somebody before, like a HAG syndrome type thing, where you constantly keep getting where there's this pressure put on the chest, right?
Right.
And you have this overwhelming feeling that someone is on top of your chest. It goes back to old folklore of Irish folklore of a hag, a witch, that's laying on top of your chest, and it's causing you from breathing, and you're scared to death, and blah, blah, blah. But there's actually a natural thing that's inside your body as a defense in your body when you're having bad dreams and stuff, so you don't act out and punch the one that's sleeping next to you. It makes you paralyzed. It's a natural thing that's inside your body. And like I was saying, how you differentiate, if all of a sudden I'm at a hotel and I get 5 different cases all inside the same room with 5 different people having this hag syndrome happen, I'm going to side with the paranormal on that. If all of a sudden I get someone who is having this happen at home, I have to wonder if it's a natural thing inside your body, or it's hag syndrome.
Yeah, or it's my wife.
Or it's your wife. Or my wife.
Exactly.
Choking you, throwing you in a blue barrel, taking you out to the CalSag.
Exactly.
Leave you for dead.
I usually, if I feel pressure on my chest, it's because I went to the Ponderosa and I ate too much.
Well, yes, I agree.
There's actually still Ponderosas around. So
you know what? There's still
there's
one.
one in the Wisconsin Dells.
Yeah, there is. There are some that are still around. There's not many left, but there are still some.
There's like 13, I think it was, or something like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to get into my news.
Right.
What's that?
All right, get into it. Go for it.
Boy, I said, boy, get into that.
Come on. I say, boy. You know for me, you bother me.
Robo War, China, set to release killer robots into battle within 2 years. What? China is on course to deploy killer robots into battle within 2 years. It has been claimed. The warnings came as a communist state revealed it has developed robotic dogs equipped with machine guns. Come on, man. Defense analyst Francis Tusa said China was not hindered by fears over AI, which would see them come up with the new ship designs, new submarine designs, new fighter aircraft designs at a rate which is dizzy.
But see, this is cool because now the robots will fight and then the humans can just sit back and watch.
Or what happens, dear Scotty, if they're made to kill us? We got to think about that, dude. AI, we were just talking to Larry about it and how it's moving forward. And all of a sudden, they get these emotional things about them, making their own decisions. And you got a dog. You know what?
Living together, mass hysteria. Jeez, you can't stand it.
Cats and dogs living together.
Mass hysteria. Lenny, if you're right, you'll be the savior of millions of registered voters.
That's right. Good old Ghostbusters, Bill Murray. All right. They are moving 4 or 5 times faster than the States, he said. We are a start of a race of truly autonomous systems. I would be surprised if we don't see autonomous machines coming out of China in 2 years. So if all of a sudden they start developing these dogs, what's going to stop them within the next 5 years of full humans? And I've seen these things out of Japan and China of these robots that they knock over and these things get right back up.
Yeah, have you seen the ones that become your girlfriend? They got those already too.
You know, there was a video. All right, now here's a funny thing. There was a video about that, about a guy on an airplane.
I'd be more worried about that.
Oh, hello, sir. $5 make you holler? Oh, well. Well, other than that.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah, if you can't, if it's bad in your night, you don't have a boyfriend. There you go.
There you go. There you go, man. There you go.
Or the girlfriend.
Next we are going to have Mr. Keith Age. He is going
to be
coming on with
so
us.
Cool.
What's that?
And I got my new.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. You got that from Walmart?
I did.
Yeah. Look at that.
I'm trying to get all the ghosts.
Scotty's got all his toys on his
desk. Trap. My new ghost trap and I showed it before my here, if you can see it, here we go. The new Ghostbusters thing. It's a Bluetooth speaker, this little one like this, and it's got like a great speaker on it for what was it, $13? It's amazing. Bluetooth speaker.
It's amazing.
All Ghostbuster stuff.
Man. One day when you get older and we put you in a home or something like that, we're going to give you all your toys and then you can just sit there in a circle and just play with them.
I'm going to do it tonight. I said,
while you're watching Hogan's Heroes?
You can talk to Keith and then I'll just be fine. Play with my
where's the pudding, mama?
Is your name George?
Hey, George. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next.
You're a cute bunny rabbit.
You're a cute bunny rabbit. I like you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next, Mr. Keith.
Next. And now, back to the Paranormal Guys podcast.
Hey there. You're on the hunt for some captivating podcasts about the supernatural, paranormal, aliens, or anything that sends shivers down your spine. The Paranormal Guys podcast has you covered. Find them on various streaming platforms and don't forget to check out them on YouTube channel at Graveside Paranormal. Happy listening and boom.
All right, Scotty, we're back, brother.
Wow, that was a long break.
Well, you got to use the washroom every now and then, dude.
We do.
As we get older, we take certain pills, and they cause certain things to happen.
Yeah, most of the time I can't go because of the Ozempic. But
are you on Ozempic too? I'm on Ozempic. Wow,
we both are. And
wow.
So when you go because you have to really bad.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that. Now, man, I'm learning more about you every single day. And you want to know what's cool to learn about you? and
What?
is the friend that you brought forward for us today.
Yeah, he's one of my best friends of all time. I mean, we've known each other probably close to 30 years, I think it is.
Yeah. For
Ethan,
ladies and gentlemen,
forever.
yeah. I was talking to him before you got on, and just cool dude. So right now, as I want to just talk a little bit about him, Mr. Keith H., the man known as the legendary rock and roll ghost hunter, has more than 40 years of experience in the paranormal research. Keith H. is the founder and president of Louisville Ghost Hunters Society and has explored hauntings for documentaries and TV series around the country. Mr. Keith H.
Hey guys,
Hey, baby.
how's it going?
You guys got a history, man.
Little bit.
Yeah, well, just a wee little bit one.
Yeah. These guys like hit it right off the bat. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Both of them, they saw each other, and it was like two old friends out in a schoolyard, just going, hey, what's up, dude? Who haven't seen each other for quite a while, but they right on the same wavelength again. It's really cool when friends are like that.
Sometimes.
Well, Mr. Keith H., I appreciate you, number one, coming on. I really do. Scotty has talked very highly of you.
Oh God.
I know. It's all, but can you believe it? I have to be. I'm a host, so I have to be nice. So
Yes, be nice. And we talked about this. We talked about this before this started. And this is for both of you. No swearing. No swearing.
Keith, yeah, good night. Good night. We're
Good
done.
night, everyone.
Quickest interview in history.
No, I can do an interview without swearing. I promise.
All right. I do. I trust you. It's Scotty I'm worried about. Man.
I would have to agree with that too.
Yeah. So, Keith, I just saw for like the fourth or fifth time because we're doing an event at the Roth House that you're very familiar with. You are one of the first groundbreaking people, or if not with the Booth brothers, to do a paranormal investigation there on video documentary called The Possessed. I believe it came out in 2001. Am I correct?
Nope, 2007.
2009, right?
Yeah, we shot it in 2007, came out in 2009.
I have to tell you, it really still holds up. I watched it last night, and I really, really enjoyed it. There's both of you, one of the Booth brothers. You guys are at the Mantino Asylum. I went to the Mantino Asylum, but they tricked me. I didn't know they knocked down the building, and so I had to go through the little cottages that they had.
They didn't take you through the tunnels?
No. I'm gonna tell you, from after when I did a couple of years ago. A lot of people told me, Neil, they didn't give you exactly what you should have got. And to be honest with you, I spent a nice amount of money on my team at the time. And I think if you're going to rent something out, you should get the best of something, which I don't think we got. Don't get me wrong. I love the whole history. They have a great museum there on psychiatrics and the way that people were utilized in those psychiatric wards and the cribs and this and that. I think it's a very interesting museum, beautiful museum. I was out there with my wife because my wife's a nurse, so she truly appreciated that stuff, especially myself. But your guys' thing on the movie The Possessed, I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, we enjoyed making it. The Wasika Wonder was a big favorite of mine for years. And, nothing had ever been done about it, hardly. The closest thing was Troy Taylor wrote about it. And then, of course, I read all that. And then the opportunity came up, and I got to talk to John and said, hey, I'd love to shoot there. And he's like, okay, come on, we'll see what happens. And like I said, we got some great stuff. And, we brought along Bill Chappell and Scotty's favorite person.
It is my favorite person.
Do I?
We have a funny story about Bill Chappell and I. We're doing a show with Mark and Debbie Constantino, and Bill Chappell and I decided to say I was Bill Chappell and he was Scotty Rourke, and so we kind of switched places. So kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that to Rick Hayes and a client once.
Yep. Rick Hayes is our other brother.
Yeah, I've met Rick Hayes before, and when I watched the video yesterday, Totally different looking person, man.
Well, that was damn near 20 years. Excuse my language. That was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, I understand, but to be honest with you, I didn't even know that was Rick Hayes, and I've only met him, and I know he doesn't really know who I am, and I get that, but I've met him physically, and I'm like, wow, he looks, man, totally different person. I wouldn't even known that was Rick Hayes back then.
He does look different.
What's that?
He does look different.
He does. He looks like you want to know who he looks like? He looks like Ace Frehley.
No, I know Ace Frehley. No,
dude, I was looking at. He looks like
he looks like Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura.
Well, what you got to also understand is the mustache he's got. I penciled it on him.
That's permanent. That's permanent.
Well, that's what I used was a permanent marker. Yeah. And, because me and the booth.
So the other thing is we were talking about that movie, but then a few years after that, Keith and I decided, or I get this phone call, and Keith goes, "Hey, what are you doing on this night?" I said, "Nothing." He goes, "Come on down here," and so we did the Roth House together.
Yep.
Now that's
some interesting stuff.
We got a lot of cool stuff happening that night. That place is amazing yet.
It is. Yeah. It really is. I've gone through there and I've taken people on tours through there for the past 3-4 years. Every October I do it. And I've bumped up our game this year, doing what we do. And you'll get disembodied voices of a young lady inside the house. It has a lot of great spiritual activity because a lot of people don't realize this was a spiritualist house.
Right.
Asa Roth was a spiritualist. Mm-hmm. And he brought over doing seances and this and that. Now, don't get me wrong.
Also had several viewings of bodies in there.
Really?
Oh, God, yeah. Of different family members who died. Like I was telling you, the back room, which is the parlor, which is where the fireplace is next to the kitchen. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the viewing room.
Really?
And that is where Scotty and I've got a picture of our buddy John Tinter, who died a couple of years ago. He was sitting on a couch, and I've got a picture of something small come up, taking his hand.
Yep.
And that's the room that I was telling you about earlier, about where we got the video for this new series, Bourbon Spirits, where we got something, the mist forms to the left, crosses across the camera to the star of the show, Shannon, and it disappears.
We got a lot of stuff that day too, on the stairwell.
Yep.
So make sure you film there, Neil. I mean, because
the
activity in the stairwell. Because again, going up to that, which bedroom was it? The one on the left, I think it was.
Well, the one when you're going up the stairs to your left, that was Lawrence's room.
Yeah.
The one to your right, if you're going up, the first one, that's Asa's, and then Dorothy's room, the mother, is the one right across. Now, that actually brings up a good question to me, Keith. That closet, do you think that there was a lot of bad activity inside that closet, as in something malevolent?
I don't know about benevolent, but there was something there. I got a really funny story I can tell you about that closet, but because of language barrier, I can't tell you.
I'm sure you can figure it out. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
When we first went there, John told us, the owner, John, told us, just be careful. There's a lot of cats here in the house. Mm-hmm. Don't let the cats out. Well, as we're exploring the house, Christopher Booth, it's dark, and he goes in there, and it wasn't all cleaned out at that time. There was still a lot of stuff in the place. And he went to shut the door, and something was in the door frame. Well, he shut it really hard a couple times, and then said, "Let me see your flashlight." So I gave it to him, and he opens the door, looks down, he goes, "Oh my God." I said, "What?" He goes, "I just killed the cat."
Oh my God.
I was like, "What?" He goes, "Oh man," but that wasn't the word he used. So I was like, "Oh man, you gotta be kidding." He goes, I can't go in there and look again. It's too terrible." and he was just beside himself. He was just that he hurt the cat, and so I went, well, I guess I better go outside, put it outside, and do something, and then let John know. I opened the door and I turned the flashlight on. No, I turned on the thermal imager first. That's what I had in my hand, and nothing is registering heat wise. And I went, what the heck? And I'm looking, it's pitch black. So finally, I said, Chris, give me my flashlight back. I turned it on, and I went, oh my God, there it is. Laying there in the middle of the floor.
Mm.
I go to pick it up, and it's stiff as a board. And I went, what? It just killed this thing. How could it be stiff? And then I look at it again. It's a stuffed cat.
Get out of here, man.
Yeah. A stuffed Siamese cat. But you talk about Mantino. What was really cool when we were filming there, I mean, we got some great stuff. But one of the most interesting thing was, like you said, the building's gone now. But we looked out, and there was a woman standing in a white dress across the road, just on the other side of the road in these bushes. And then she jumped behind the bushes watching us. And I'm like, well, what the heck is this about? So I ended up calling the caretaker, and I said, hey, there's a woman out here. And he goes, oh, you're kidding. So they did a quick head count, and she escaped from the facility, and she wanted to see what we were doing.
Oh, wow.
So we had a mental patient trying to get into the mental facility.
Wow, that's interesting stuff. And Mantino, I mean, we got evidence out there, but they had us inside this old gymnasium. That's what was left in the small cottages. And they have these cottages just full of crap. I mean, they're just full of a bunch of boxes and this and that. And it's hard to maneuver around in there. And I hate to give something a bad rating, I really do. But I think they just need to clean up. Great museum, though. Great museum. But they need to just clean that place up.
Oh, yeah. We got some great stuff, especially down the front hallway of the building that's gone now. We got what looks like a little boy on thermal.
Yeah.
And and we got to film it. And back then filming was a chore because we didn't have a lot of gear that was made for what we were doing.
Right.
So I was filming the thermal. I had Chris Booth over my
shoulder, with another camera.
Filming the camera, and then Philip over his left shoulder filming both of us.
Yep, camera. And that was a technology that you guys actually, not that you made it for everybody, but you guys were doing it before it actually became something where you could just have one camera, doing it. You guys were doing these things. For ladies and gentlemen who don't understand, people like Keith and like Scotty were doing this, which made the paranormal popular, ladies and gentlemen. And that these guys are the golden age, I would say, of who started all these paranormal shows. Keith, the Booth brothers, Scotty, all these fine gentlemen.
We're definitely the OG.
You guys are, and I always give you guys props on these things, man. It's amazing, your leadership into wanting to do this for yourselves, and find out what's going on with the paranormal, the supernatural, and kudos to you guys. That's all I can say is I appreciate it.
I learned a lot from Keith, that's for sure, and Christopher and Philip. I mean, those guys taught me a lot about how to do this, and so without them, I wouldn't be where I am today either. I mean, but it's just the friends that you make and that you keep all these years. It's just what's incredible. So
it is. It really is.
Scotty actually married me and my wife.
I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
They did a shotgun wedding on me.
He didn't know anything about it. We had it all set up and we were all ready, and I had everything written and we're all set to go. And I said, "Hey, Keith, come over here." And he walked over.
You got Jason Snyder.
Oh, that's right. We got Jason to do it.
I'm sitting at my table with a line of people.
Yeah, we're at an event.
And they're all there to talk to me, and I'm signing stuff. And Jason Snyder is my right-hand man for these events. And he's, I love Jason to death. And he's the type of person that if he comes across a problem, he'll handle it until it gets to a point where he says, okay, Keith needs to deal with this. And all of a sudden I look up and there he is in front of me and he grabs me by my hand and pulls me out of my chair and says, come here, I got a problem I can't deal with. And I went, oh my God, who's killed who? You know, it's the first thing I'm thinking. And you get about 5 or 6 steps and all of a sudden he turns around, smiles at me and walks away. And I turn around and look, and there's Scotty and my wife. And I'm like going, what is this? So then Scotty starts talking and then he calls Robin, my wife, his BFF, but he called her by a different name. He called her Barbara.
Yes.
And it's on film. I turned around and said, did you just marry us? And why am I marrying somebody named Barbara?
Wow. Were you drinking, Scotty?
No, I wasn't.
Oh. He's just nervous. There was about 300 people there that they pulled this on me and them.
And the fact that I know Keith carries a gun, so I was like, am I going to make it? Am I going to make it out of here? Okay, is this really going to happen?
Now,
another story I'll tell you about Keith and the gun. We'll talk about that in a second. But yes, that was a very good wedding. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Now, Keith, many?
Ask him about the psychic he shot.
See.
So, all right. So, just so you know, before you got on here, Scotty, we were actually talking about that. So I'll tell you what, Keith, go ahead, explain. He's like this.
Who shot the psychic?
In the 90s, there was a very famous psychic who wanted to come to a place up here in Kentucky. It's called Hell's Gate.
Hell's Gate, yeah.
And it's just
that's a cool place. It's amazing.
It's an old cemetery out in the country. It's gotten a very bad reputation. And this very famous psychic wanted to come, so I arranged it. And it's out in the country, way out in the country.
Way.
And she pulls up in this 16-passenger Ford panel van, and it's full of people. And they all get off, and she gets off, and I go to stick my hand out to shake her hand, and all of a sudden she hits the ground, and she's going, oh, St. Michael, help me. There's so much negative, bad energy here. St. Michael, protect me. And she's flipping and flopping, and I'm like, whoa. You know, what is this? And then all of these people, I call them her disciples, they all knelt down in a circle around her, put one hand on her, one hand up in the air, and they start chanting. Do you remember the Ghost of Mr. Chicken movie?
Yeah, Don Knotts.
That's what this is reminding me of. You know? And I'm just like, wow. So one of my guys, who Scotty knows, Ron, looks at me and goes, dude, what are we going to do if she's really sick or something? I said, she's going to effing die then because I ain't giving her mouth to mouth. So this goes on for about 5 more minutes. We haven't even hit the cemetery yet. We're in the parking lot area. And it's going on and going on. So finally I got tired of it and I just pulled my gun out and bam, shot it up in the air. Well, that stopped the possession real quick.
That's an attention grabber.
And she got up, didn't say a word. They all got in the van. They left. And I turned around and looked at my guy, and I said, well, first time I've ever seen a demon run from a 45. So Scotty has taken that for almost 25 years and said, I shot a psychic. That I don't like psychics. Well, I did not shoot her. I shot over her head.
Hey, boys and ghouls, Neil here from Graveside Paranormal Ghost Tours. Join us on October 26th in Watseka, Illinois for the seance at the Roth House, known for the story The Watseka Wonder, the first documented possession in America, or was it a spiritual miracle? In the end, you decide. We're going to be having ghost tours throughout the house every hour on the hour, from 1 p.m. to about 2 o'clock in the morning. We are going to have vendors. We're going to have speakers. Mr. Dave Schrader himself of the Paranormal 60 podcast, as well as the Holzer Files, will be your MC for the day. Miss Diet Renee will also be out there doing the seance at 7:30 at night. And guess what, girls and boys? We are also going to be filming a documentary, so each and every one of you can be part of this unique experience. So go to gravesideparanormal.com to further details about our event, or on Facebook, and go to Eventbrite at The Seance at the Roth House. So grab your holy water, call your mama, and boom.
And now, back to the Paranormal Guys podcast.
That's all that is, man. I've been there.
Yeah, I'd take and run with it.
Yeah.
Oh, he had this one crowd. Where were we at? Up in Illinois somewhere.
Yeah. Was it SoCon?
600 people.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I was going to kill him. And I'm like, no. And I even did one of these things where I'm getting comfortable in my chair, and people gasped.
Yeah, they go, oh! They thought he was coming for me.
You guys have had quite a relationship. I mean, I'm just looking at Scotty, and he is loving this. He is
I'm
loving it.
having a blast. One of my best friends in the whole world, Keith.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Remember I was telling you, Neil, I was telling you in the news segment about that Winnipeg show where I did the seance up there at the Marlborough Hotel. There, Marlborough Hotel, I remember. But Keith was there with me. And
Marlborough Hotel, yeah.
Yeah, because we were doing the 100 years of Arthur Conan Doyle, doing the same seance at the same time.
Right, you were saying.
Yeah, so Keith was there. So we had some fun with Keith. So first of all, Keith, myself, and Tim Miley, that sounds like a bad joke already, starting to
that sounds like a terrible joke.
A psychic, Tim Miley, and Keith Age walk into a bar. No, we walk into airline. We all fly together on the same airline. And we get into customs into Canada, and we walk in there. And Tim Miley is this Wisconsin boy. He looks like it. You know Tim Miley, Neil?
I may have met him. I don't know.
Okay. We'll have him on the show.
Yeah.
Anyway,
big farm boy.
Yeah.
Really big dude, huh?
He looks like he's from Green Acres. I mean, And anyway, and myself, I was wearing this black shirt. I had my sports coat on. I mean, I look like a psychic or a pastor, And then Keith, look at him right there. He has a biker's coat on and all this stuff. So we go all in there. So the first one they pull aside at the customs checkpoint is Tim. And I start laughing, like, oh my God, he's laughing. And then they pull me. And I'm like, oh my God, they're pulling the two people. And then they look at Keith and they go to him and they go, okay, go on. And they let him through. And I start yelling at customs. I go, and you let the biker through? What the hell is this place? What do you think? I was just going. I said, out of the three of us, you let the one. They
didn't want nothing to do with him.
No, they didn't care. They're like, he's going to shoot us too.
But then they're questioning them, and they're pulling up on their phones going, look, you let him go through. He's the star of the show.
Oh.
He's the guy everybody's coming to see, and you let him go through. And, and I had the full leather. I had the cowboy hat on, the vest, the chaps, the biker boots, and I could hear him yelling as I'm walking out of the airport, the screening area. I hear him going, the biker? You let the biker go through? and the screening guy goes, he looked thirsty. He needed a beer.
He looked thirsty.
And then I got this lady at the counter, and she goes, and then we're showing her the pictures, like, look at this, see, there I am, and there's Tim, and we're all going to be at this event. And then she goes, oh, you're a psychic medium? I go, yeah. She goes, give me a reading. I said, no, not until I get into the country. Then I'll give you a reading. But you got to let me through. Then I'll give you a reading.
But then we get on the plane, and I kind of got in some trouble.
Yes, you did.
They were sitting directly in front of me, and Tim had never been on a plane before in his life, and he's just white knuckle grabbing onto the chairs. And we hit some turbulence, and he almost shot straight up because of the turbulence. So I'm sitting there. I grabbed the back of
Scotty. This is just killing Scotty right now.
Yeah. I grabbed the back of the seat, and I start doing airquake, airquake,
airquake.
And Scotty's looking mortified, but then he started laughing about it. Jim is just having a heart attack, and they removed me and threatened me with jail when we landed.
Oh my God.
So I had to go sit in the back of the plane by myself.
This is killing Scotty. For ladies and gentlemen, if you look at our YouTube channel, I've never seen Scotty this red ever. I mean, he cannot stop laughing at these stories, man. It's killing.
Keith, tell him about your girlfriend in
oh my God, we'll be here.
Which one?
In Winnipeg, the nice lady, your best friend.
What she call me?
Charlie.
We didn't know about Winnipeg. Not Winnipeg.
Yeah, it was Winnipeg.
Was it Winnipeg?
Yeah.
The town rose up at 7:00.
Yeah, it went away.
And you know how you said Louisville has a bad homeless problem right now?
Yeah, I was telling about Louisville.
It has nothing compared to what Winnipeg was.
No, nothing.
I mean, you were getting hit up for money and cigarettes and about 30 or 40 people before you could even get to the door of the hotel. And the hotel was very old, very nice, but you had to go through all these homeless people. So we got done with our stuff we were doing.
We were going for a drink or going out to get
something. We went down for a drink in the bar. We had one drink, and we were right in the middle of drinking it, and all of a sudden they go, okay, last call, we're closing. It was like 7:00 or 7:15. And we're like going, what? So we said, let's go find some more, get another drink somewhere. Well, we go out looking all around, walking, me and Scotty. Nothing. And we stop at a red light and get ready to cross. There's no cars coming. And these Canadian police go, don't walk across here. That's jaywalking. We will arrest you for that. And we went, okay, no problem. We'll wait on the light. So the light turns green for us to go. We get to the other side, and here comes this drunk Indian chick, little bitty chick, that you can smell her 40 feet before she gets to you.
Really? Wow.
And she walks up to us, and she gets right in front of me, and stops, and she looks at me, and she goes, Charlie, is that you? Charlie, I missed my bus. Take me home. And I'm like, what? I'm like, and he's laughing his butt off, and now she's got a hold of my vest.
Yeah,
I'm with a death grip, like, please take me home. She just kept telling me, Charlie, take me home. And then the light changes, and my good buddy goes walking. I'm stuck with this drunk lady.
I go across the street and leave him with this lady.
So So I'm trying.
I'm waving to him from across the street.
Charlie. Yeah.
I said, I'll see you, Charlie.
See you later, Charlie. And this was going on for a few more minutes. I don't know how long. It felt like forever.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't too long, but it was forever.
Finally, I pulled her hands off of me, and I said, "Ma'am, I'd love to help you, but I'm not Charlie. How can I help you?" And she looks at me. All of a sudden, she went really clear for a second. She goes, "Oh, okay." And she turns and she just, bam, face plants right into a building.
Yeah, right into the building.
Right side of the building. And just backs up, just, oh, excuse me.
Excuse me.
And walked around it and walked on. And I'm just kind of like going, oh my God. I was like, where are those cops when I needed them? But I turn around to look for him. He's now on the other side of the street, walking the other way back to the hotel going, nothing open down there. I'll see you at the hotel, Charlie. And I'm just like, oh my God. So he's now dubbed my name is Charlie.
It's Charlie.
Now, let me get this right. What were you guys going to be filming in Winnipeg?
We weren't. We were doing a convention.
Yeah,
you were doing a convention.
Yeah.
So these are like all the.
And then the next night we go walking. A group of us. We must have went 4 or 5 miles walking to this bar, and we get there. We're the oldest people in the bar. They won't even serve us.
Right.
All they're serving is the college crowd, the young crowd.
Oh, wow.
And so after about an hour or so, we all said, let's find someplace else to go. So we start heading back, And then this one and Tim Miley see these young ladies who are kind of standing off in the corner of an alley, and I'm walking behind them, and they start talking to them as they're walking to them. And all of a sudden, these two just kind of start veering toward them. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. You don't need to walk down an alley you don't know nothing about. There's no lights. There's no nothing.
He grabs us by the scuffs. We're going.
Yeah. and about that time, these three guys pop up behind this car that were waiting for them to roll.
Yeah.
I'm
It's a
just
tough town. Tough. Hey, I tell you, I get no respect.
Yeah. I think that's what I said. That's like you are, man.
You guys have had pretty interesting, fun times together. Let me tell you.
Oh my God! These are just the beginning of the stories. We could go on for nights.
Oh, I'm sure we can. But let me ask some questions. I got to ask.
All right, if you have to.
I didn't do it, and I know it was the mayor's daughter. Okay.
All right, done deal. We are done tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is Neil with Graveside going off.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. No, but let me ask you a question. Children of the Grave. Now, you were a producer of Children of the Grave as well?
Right.
And then Scotty and you were part of Children of the Grave 2, which I'm going to watch tonight. Children of the Grave 2, that I'd never watched before. Out of all,
we got some good stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out tonight. I'll tell you that.
Watch for the Peter Pan effect.
Well, I'm going to remember that. On Peter Pan effect. Is it? I mean, Sky's not like in a Peter Pan outfit or anything like that.
No.
You gotta watch to find out.
All right, I gotta watch it.
It was a pretty cool thing. I mean, Keith and the Booth brothers, they just gave me the town that I was supposed to be in coordinates. They didn't even tell me where to go, and then they called me, and I was at a restaurant waiting for them, and then they called me, and the moment I walked out, they put a camera in my face and put a microphone on me and said, "Tell me about that building," and that's how the movie starts.
Oh, neat! I'm gonna check that out tonight. I'll tell you. Now, how many
cool
movies
about this building? It used to be an orphanage and a poorhouse. Okay, it's 5 stories tall, really beautiful building, but they had rented it out to a haunted house for Halloween.
A lot of people do, yeah.
And they cut the main staircase out. They cut the supporting beams, and there's nothing holding. Part of it has collapsed inside. So when you go upstairs, you walk down a little bitty path, and you got to stay on that path, because if you walk off, you're dropping 5 floors down.
And they did this intentionally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? What's the point?
Because they were trying to make it like spooky where you walk and it's like this, but it actually collapsed the building instead.
Oh my God.
And then about 4 years after we shot it, people were in there doing a seance and caught the place on fire and it burned to the ground.
Yeah.
While you guys were doing a seance?
No. 4 years or so after we had
okay. I was like, damn.
I have the video on my Facebook page. It's out there.
The part I'm talking about, it's not good for me to ever get bored, and especially if I have a camera in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And there are parts of it where I was just like, when Scotty is doing his thing, I'm supposed to be filming with thermal, and I'm just getting bored because nothing's happening in the room, and I just happen to turn around and I get something. And it's the most phenomenal thing. We call it the Peter Pan effect. You'll have to see it.
I promise I'm going to watch it tonight. I know it's on Amazon because when I went over watching The Possessed again, just to retune my mind on certain things, I was like, all right, I saw a scroll of all the different ones that on Amazon. They have a scroll of all the different movies that you guys have done. So I'm gonna hit that up tonight.
Yeah, we did 10 movies. You got a lot to watch.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna definitely watch them. Like I started how I got into the paranormal, and I'm gonna ask you how, because I always like to get to know people, especially on the show. How I got into the paranormal is that for me was actually Art Bell. When I first started working for the sheriff's department back in early '94. Don't get me wrong, I had certain things happen to me when I was a young child. But how I started really getting into it and learning about it and understanding it better was actually through Art Bell on Coast to Coast AM. Did you used to listen to his show?
I've been on his show several times.
Yeah. Dude, he was the best, man. That guy was the best.
Yeah, no, I got you beat by about 15, 16 years.
Yeah, I know.
Uh, I didn't grow up paranormal. I'm as psychic as a doorknob. I really am, even though Scotty says everybody has psychic abilities.
Which everybody does, but
I've had my head busted open from things flying through the air, and if I was psychic, I would have ducked.
Yeah. Now you're the guy. Now, Keith, you were the one at Waverly
Yes,
where the brick got thrown.
I had my head busted open 3 times at Waverly from things being thrown at us.
Yes, because that was on videotape, wasn't it?
Yes.
You were down in the it was like a basement area.
It was on the 4th floor.
Fourth floor. Okay,
It just looks like a basement because it's so dark. And giving a tour with people that were along with us, and that's how we shot it. And we're looking straight down the hallway, and just pitch black. And at Waverly, we found that if you just use your peripheral vision and look at everything, you will. If things are going to be active, you'll start seeing things. Things moving, things coming in and out of the doorways, things walking down the hallway. So anyway, there's this girl. She's right in front of me. My head is just over her shoulder. Her face is right here. And I'm talking to her because she's having trouble seeing it. And I'm just telling her, just drop your eyes, look down at the floor, look at everything. And about that time, it got really hot. And I looked up, and then something popped me right underneath the brim of my hat and just busted me wide open.
Yeah.
And so, that all was caught on film.
Now, I was researching more about you. You were on the Channel 11 News some years ago, not too long, maybe 10 years ago, actually. And you showed a picture at Waverly of this couple that was taking a picture of themselves, but in the background is a picture of actually looked like a very pretty girl.
Yep, like wearing a bonnet.
And the thing is, could that have been that girl that committed suicide? Wasn't there a nurse who committed suicide in Italy?
That shop was actually on the 2nd floor, and there were no windows in the building at the time. It's a 30-foot straight drop out that window. And these 2 young ladies were just happy to be there. They wanted their picture taken. I took the picture. And you can tell out in the darkness, there's a face. And we didn't see it until after they got home and looked at the picture. And, I don't know if it could be her. There are no photos of the nurse that hung herself. But I will tell you this. I have the death certificate.
Oh, do you?
Yes, I do.
Wow. How old was she when she committed suicide?
In 1926, she was 23 years old.
Now, what was the reasoning that she committed suicide?
She was pregnant.
That's right.
By a doctor there that wasn't going to do anything about it.
And that was a young-looking girl in that picture, I'm going to tell you. Young, pretty girl. You could tell that she had curly hair.
Well, that's, again, this is the paranormal investigator in me. If you look at the picture, the curly hair that you see is actually the hair of one of the girls.
Oh, is it? Okay.
But it looks like she's wearing a bonnet or a nurse's cap.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, that was an astounding picture that you.
Isn't that cool? That's a great picture.
It's crazy, man. And then you had another picture of a shadow person. I think on the 4th floor, you guys were viewing the camera up or down. I don't know. And there was a shadow person over the railing.
It was me. I was looking up the stairwell.
Yeah, that's right.
And just taking a picture of the stairwell. And it goes all the way to the 5th floor. And the ceiling up there is white. And, this was a flash I had on the camera. And they're only good for about 6 feet anyway. And I just shot and I had it developed. And that's back when you had to get your film developed. And there's something black. You can see its shoulders, its head, just the shape of it looking over. There's no identification marks on it, no nose, no brow. It's just black.
Right. That's another extraordinary photo. I was out in Florida with my family some years ago, and a photo almost just like that of a shadow person. What was the name of that place? It's that lighthouse. What's the name of that lighthouse that's in
Yeah,
Florida?
yeah. Jason Hall got that shot.
Oh, dude, that was such a great photo, man.
And they
We
actually,
catch.
they actually got
St.
video
Augustine.
of it.
Was that the St. Augustine?
Yeah,
St.
St. Augustine. Yes, St. Augustine. Oh, that's an awesome place. I loved being at St. Augustine. It was great.
Tell you
So
what,
here,
one of the best photos I've ever gotten was at Castle Pone, which was Dracula's real castle in
Mhm.
Romania. And
those were amazing shots.
yeah, and you
Amazing.
down into the battlements, which are still underneath it. Most of the rest of the castle has crumbled, and the wall, outer walls are gone except for a few. And going down this staircase, you have little 10-watt bulbs hanging on wires going down, so you can see the steps. And it's not very much light. And as I'm walking down the steps, there's a sign. It's in German, and I don't read or speak German. And I was sitting there thinking, man, I wish I could know what this was. I'll take a picture of it and get it translated later. Took
Yeah.
a picture of it, and there's something blocking it, standing in front of it. You can see its shoulders, its arms, its head, its legs, but you can't make any details out whatsoever.
Now, let me ask you a question, Keith. Now, you say you're not a psychic or anything like that, but I want to throw this out at you. Could you have it where, and because I've actually seen a case like this before, where people don't think they're psychics or anything like that, but for whatever reason, whenever they take pictures, like yourself,
You're ready to say it. Go for it. Say it. Say
psychic
it.
things are happening.
Got it.
You're projecting that you're wanting to take a picture in your mind. You're thinking to yourself, "Hey, I want to catch something on camera." So I
Nope.
think
All
that
I was thinking was I want to take a picture of that sign.
I understand it, but in the back of your mind, though, is that you're at a paranormal place, and you're in your mind. You're going. This is just me saying this to you, Keith. Is that you're thinking to yourself, "This is a paranormal place," and you're not in your mind. You want to get paranormal pictures.
So here's the thing that I'll say about Keith.
And you could be drawing in things unknowingly.
Do
And
you
you're
know
putting
how
it
many
out-
times
I've
Tim
seen
and
it.
I've had this conversation?
Yes. You're the psychic photographer, dude.
Well, he has called me a psychic magnet.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't think. I mean, I've been lucky and caught some great stuff.
But here's the thing. Keith, out of anyone that I know, is probably the most skeptical because not everything is a ghost, which I really respect him a lot for that, and that's kind of helped me in my line being a medium. I don't say everything's a ghost because it's not.
Right.
And so that's where working with Keith always taught me was, let's really figure out what it is, because I mean, he's told me there's only like 2 or 3 psychics he believes in. He doesn't go around saying everything's a ghost. I mean, for the longest time, he said what we caught it at on Children of the Grave 2, he wouldn't even classify it as anything. He just said it was pretty cool that we caught it.
Well,
But and you even went to Fleur and asked him about it.
Right. Oh yeah. What I was talking about, the Peter Pan effect, I sent that to Fleer, and I was like, "What did we catch? What is this?" And I gave them all the parameters, and they were back and forth on the phone with me for 2 weeks, going, "We don't know." I'm like, "You gotta know. You're the guys who created this. You're the scientists who came up with this." And they're like going, "We have no rational explanation for this whatsoever."
Well, let's ask you this. What about the photo of that girl that we were just talking about? Is that paranormal or supernatural? Is that a ghost? What's your opinion?
I will exhaust every logical
Right.
thing first before I say, okay, something is paranormal.
Mhm.
That photo, I can't explain it. So yeah, it's got to be paranormal.
Okay, I understand.
The Peter Pan effect thing, like I said, we watched it on a little 2x2 monitor, and before I said, okay, I was saying it's really cool what we caught, but I don't want to give a thing about it. And that's just like orbs. I'm not an orb person at all.
No.
not when you can.
We've talked about it here on this show many times already.
Yeah,
We
I
just
mean,
did show last week about
when
it.
you can recreate something 99.9% of the time, it's not paranormal in nature.
Mhm.
And I was a photography major, so I was taught what to look for on certain things, and you know, there's so many natural things that can happen on a camera or a flash that can make you think, "Oh my God, what's that?" You know, and those things happen first.
Right.
But there's a lot of stuff I can't explain.
Right.
You know,
Like,
when we did the movie, it took them months and months and months to say what we thought was paranormal. I mean, we a long time. I mean, I was saying that day, but I mean, months and months before Keith would admit that it was pretty cool. He always said it was pretty cool.
no,
I
and
will
that's
give you
good.
that. And
I
that's
remember,
great. And
yeah.
that's what I'm so happy about, that when we put out, like your EVPs, and stuff that you put out, you've done all the work on it to say that this is truly something that you cannot explain. And so then it's something more. It's something paranormal. And I've never asked you this question, Keith, and I never have asked you this question.
Okay.
What place that you've ever investigated that you think is the most haunted?
A little ranch style house in Chicken Run, Kentucky. Uh, the house took people over, and I mean, that is the only way I can explain it. I had some guy attack my leg on a staircase and then attack the girl. I ended up knocking the heck out of him, bouncing him down the stairs to make him stop. And eventually that house ended up just being torn down, and nothing has been built on the land since. It's just empty field. And also, that's where a chandelier fell, and I got 48 stitches in my head, in my shoulder. Uh, Another place was a school here in Kentucky where a young lady in a shop class didn't have her hair put up in a bun, and her hair got caught in a drill press and just scalped her, and she bled to death in the school.
Oh my God.
And I got bounced down a flight of stairs, and I broke my right arm, 6 ribs, my collarbone, and that was probably one of the worst nights I'd ever had ghost hunting.
I guarantee you that.
Well, I finished the night out with ice cold water bottles stuffed in my leather vest, just compressing it in, and then on the way home to Louisville, once we got to Louisville, that's when I went to the hospital, and they said, "Man, you're pretty broke up," and I'm like, "I can feel it, man."
Yeah.
So there's some really cool places. Like I said, the place where we filmed Children of the Grave 2, that was a really cool place just because of the fact what I caught on film, I could not explain it. But there was also an abandoned church that Scotty and I went to. That
was cool.
I broke my leg in 2 places and still kept on it. And Scotty just thought it was the funniest thing.
I laughed my ass off.
Oh my God, dude.
I did, because he's walking up the stairs with his cases, and all of a sudden, you got to say it, because I laughed too freaking hard when I tell this story.
He is standing on the landing. I have got cases in my hand, gear, bringing it up the steps. My girlfriend at the time is standing between me and him. She is holding a computer bag on her shoulder. All right. I'm walking up. I hear him go, "Watch out for the." That's all I heard. And the next thing I know, I'm down on my leg.
Yeah, you didn't listen to me. What the hell?
In the step, and it broke my leg.
Ouch.
And
Ouch.
And he's laughing, and my girlfriend's turning around, and she's right here, and she turns around, swinging around so fast, she clocks me in the head with this computer bag, sends my hat flying, and all I hear is him laughing. That's all I can hear. And then I hear a wrong sound. My head connects with this 50-gallon drum.
Drum, yes. And I laugh even harder.
Yeah.
And then I say, "Are you okay?"
You know, but all I can hear is Scotty laughing, and then I hear, "Are you okay?" I'm like,
but friends like that, who needs enemies, dude?
like a few words I can't say at the moment.
Yeah.
So me and him get up in the chapel a couple hours later, and I'm like,
Oh my God, that was
leg
crazy.
is really, really hurting. So we take the thermal and I raise my pants leg up, and you can see in the thermal where my leg is broken 2 places.
You could see it clearly. Oh my God.
And I'm like going, well, this is good. And then we went to Post Town the next day.
Right.
And, I didn't go to the hospital until about 3 days later. But that was probably one of Scotty's most memorable and enjoyable moments when
You got hurt, but it was fun.
holy hell beat out of me.
But that place was quite haunted, though. I mean, we did get a lot of stuff there.
We got some voices and stuff up in the chapel.
Yes.
That it was just me and him, and we got them recorded, and you can clearly hear somebody like doing a religious chant.
Yep.
And you hear a woman crying, a weeping type crying, and just various different things like that. And a door shut on us, and it didn't want to open.
Right, it didn't want to open. That was the tough thing.
You know what? Let me ask you, Keith, have you ever gone to a location that after that location or during that location that you really started questioning what you're doing?
No, you know what? I am a rock musician from the 70s, and trust me, the whole sex, drugs, and rock and roll I lived during the 70s, and you got to have brain cells to be smart enough to think those questions, and I don't have enough brain cells left.
I hear you. I mean, well, I never did that stuff, but I understand. I hear you. But man, that's between the both of you guys. You know how I'm going to phrase this question is this for both of you.
All right.
You guys actually started many years ago before all these things started becoming famous. I mean, we had the show Sightings, which I truly enjoyed the show Sightings.
That was a great show.
I love that show, The Sightings.
Yeah, but In Search was the bomb.
Oh, In Search of with Leonard Nimoy was the stuff.
Was the bomb.
How do you guys feel the way that the direction is right now with a lot of these shows? It's like shows all over. Like the Travel Channel should just be called the Ghost Channel.
I wish it was. I wish it was.
I mean, it makes sense. But how
do
you feel about the direction?
The big thing you got to remember is almost every one of those shows, there's a disclaimer at the front of it that says, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Yep.
And a lot of it is just that, for entertainment. And, it's all about ratings now. Back in the early 2000s, it was about, really doing stuff that made sense. And, and to get up here and, try to capture some stuff. Now it's about ratings. And, if the ratings aren't there, then you don't have a show anymore. So.
I mean, that's what I loved about Keith and the Booth Brothers and everyone that I always worked for. It was never about the ratings, and it was about making a good show because we were doing it for real.
Do you think that right now the paranormal, supernatural, all these shows, it's still very, very popular? I think
and I'm glad it is. I mean, because like I've said, and I've told Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson, I said, if it wasn't for Ghostbusters, I wouldn't be out doing what I'm doing now. Because I was always made fun of until Ghostbusters came out. And when Ghostbusters came out, here's men doing it, and they saw me doing it, and I actually got a level of respect that I never got before.
Right.
So I'm very happy that the shows are out there. But if you look at them for evidence and stuff, it depends. Some shows better than others. I mean, Keith and I have a lot of really great friends, like who's going to be on the show next week, Rob Demarest. He's going to be on the show next week. Very great guy. Scott Tepperman, Paul Bradford. Those guys did international, and they did very good with the thing because they went way more for the investigative truths than for
they are good guys. They're good friends, have been for years. Matter of fact, I was supposed to be on Ghost Hunters International, but I'd heard so much horror stories from Halls about the production crew. I said, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So my last question to do with that, what would somebody have to do as in shows to go to that next level? Because you know as well as I do, majority of them are all the same show. It's always the same questions.
You know about mine that we're going to do next summer.
Yes.
What are you doing next summer?
Well, you're going to be in it too, Neil.
Oh Jesus!
We're doing that with the weather.
Yeah. Now I remember you talking about that. But what has to?
We are going to do that. That's going to be a new show.
What has to be the next level? And
it doesn't. That's the thing. That's the great thing about the paranormal. It's all about the stories it tells. And I'm not trying to be flippant.
No, I agree.
It's really about the stories it tells. Who's the spirits that we're working with? What is their stories and how they're remembered? Because the better shows out there were always the ones that told the stories. You know, most all those shows that were out there. Anyway, when they tell a story of the spirits and stuff and they work with it, I think that's important because people are still having these experiences and people are still out there worried about them. Well, once they know guys like Keith and I and you, Neil, and you guys can come and talk to us anytime. We'll be more than happy to discuss your experiences. That's what it needs to be. That's where the next level is. And the more we can get out there and show that people are normal doing this stuff, like paranormal guys, that's what it's about. That's where the next level is. It's not about who's going to catch the next best thing. Who cares? What if you catch anything paranormal? It's amazing.
Right.
Well, there's two sides to that. One, what he's saying is true, but for the ratings' sake, you do have to be able to capture something.
Very true.
Otherwise, it doesn't matter what the story is. People will go, well, they didn't show nothing, know, and that's one of the big things. And as a producer, I have always lived by the fact that I will never, ever fake anything, and I won't be on any show that they fake something. And with me, I have always said, I've never seen a ghost like me or you talking to each other. I've never had that. Okay? I am waiting for the day I have a ghost walk up to me and go, "Hi, I'm Bob." Okay? And get it on film. I want to capture lightning in the bottle. I'm not worried about helping them cross over. The whole.
I am.
And Scotty and I, this is where we differ. Ghosts have feelings. They have this. I'm not psychic. I don't feel that. I want to capture it on film. So okay, this is what is really happening. Those are questions we don't know. I don't say ghosts anymore hardly because we don't know what this is. It could be some little green men on some far off planet going, "What's this?" We don't know. But it's some type of phenomena happening. It is real. It is happening. And, all we can be are document takers right now, data takers.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Yeah. I tell people this, Keith, and I hope this makes sense to you, is that a lot of these haunted places are what I like to think of as classrooms. Yeah. And I like to think that we're all learning trends of how certain places are haunted and certain things. Because every now and then I do get an email or a phone call from somebody. Hey, I need someone to come out here, blah, blah, blah. And there's going to be that thing where like somebody is really having an issue. Okay. Yeah. And what it is when you start noticing trends at certain locations, you're able to use that that knowledge that you had when you go to this family's house and you're saying, well, I remember this was happening at such and such. This is how I handled it. Right. That's why I think of a lot of them as classrooms.
Patterns and MOs.
Yep, I agree.
But you will understand that.
Yep. Totally understand.
Yeah. So
Yep. But and back to Scotty, and then we're going to call it a night. Is you're absolutely right about storyline. See, me, I'm a storyteller. That's what I do. I do that in Chicago with my tours and such. I have to lure those people in. I have to give them that moment in time where they're able to understand what was going on in that world at the time. Lure them in with the stories,
Right.
and make them believe.
yeah,
And that's
when I
what's
first
going to give them the
started doing
entertainment.
tours at Waverly Hills, I could hook you just with my voice in 5 minutes. Of
Oh, yeah.
telling stories of one, the location where you're at, two, we're in the belly of the beast, and you're listening, and and once they get up here and get that vibe going that hey, something's going to happen, I guarantee you,
Yes.
something is going to happen.
Good storyteller. Has to be a good storyteller.
Yeah,
Someone
you
be able
got
to bring them in.
to, for a good TV show, you have to have good storytelling, but you also have to be able to produce some type of evidence.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And the last thing him and I did together was at the Bell Mansion for this new show, Bourbon Spirits, we're doing. And
Let me pull that up. You go ahead and talk. Bourbon Spirits.
Yep. And Scotty actually caught some pretty good evidence, and we caught more stuff on film with it.
Right.
Tell
us a little bit about Bourbon Spirits for our audience, Keith.
Well, it'll be out on YouTube streaming service later this year.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we shot one of the episodes at one of your favorite places, the Roth House.
Yeah. I love the Roth House. It's just a beautiful house, Italian house. It's just beautiful. And then we got you on 9/21/24, back to school, Paranormal Land.
Good old Post Town. Yeah, that's one of my favorite places to go.
Yeah, I love Brenda and Daryl. They're amazing.
Oh yeah, I've slept there many a night.
And then you have coming up this weekend. Is it this weekend?
Yep, in 2 days. Yep.
Yeah.
In Arkansas. I haven't seen my buddy Tony Moran in about 15 years. It'll be good to see him. Plus, getting to see Santiago Cirillo is always a treat.
Well, you're a very busy man, let me tell you, sir.
I try.
Yeah. Well, Keith, I want to thank you very much for coming on today, and I'm glad that you and Scotty were able to kick the can down the road and talk for a little while, and you guys were able to reminisce about things. You guys together, number one, like I said before, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up people's butts. I'm grateful of guys like you who did things like this, and I'm going to watch Children of the Grave Part 2 tonight. I'm going to kick that on when I get done with you guys. Thank you again.
I expect some text today when you're watching.
You know what? I'm going to want an autograph later, Scotty.
Okay.
Autograph, dude. Come on now.
I'll get one from Keith for you.
Then make sure you get the original cover version.
Yeah, not the Ashmore Estates one.
Right.
All right. Well, Keith, thank you again for coming on. It's been a pleasure. It truly has, and I hope you stay in contact with us and we can sit down and talk.
Keith, I love you so much, man.
Love you back, brother.
All right.
Thank you for having me on, buddy. I've had fun.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad you did.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, just like always, remember, boo. Thank you for listening to the Paranormal Guys podcast, a Graveside Paranormal production. And as always, boo.